brother Fellows was stopped by our black mother in his Silent Rage soundtrack. He was running back to a yellow school bus with a tire iron in his hand. Warrior ready to bust, sound like our brown daddy without break the heads of some kids that beat up his friend, whose name I cannot remember. Another black boy, before a bullet bang stopped him from becoming king. What happens to a dream deferred? They both claimed crip. I remember bang, the kid ended up slumped in a playground right after on Easter Sunday. My brother Fellows joined him in becoming ancestor. I choked, smoke, writing down that line, my brother was 15, blue. Once upon a time, my mama firstborn son, my biggest, oldest brother Isaac, whose name means laughter, told me he knew he would not make it to see his 20s. We lived on Travis Avenue. I was in high school. I ain't never forgot that conversation. I remember he used to hold his breath every time mama left so red in the face, he turned blue, blood so blue, he turned purple. We ain't nothing to laugh at. Insert Aunt Antigone, song, tragedy, he claimed Pyru. Another brown boy took down in his own imagination before lightning and lightning could strike. What happens to a dream deferred? It becomes ink, blue teardrop, sand, hang down in my right eye. It becomes seal, signing off, Tutankhamun. I teach in a place that divided by a railroad track. My mother's black and my father's Mexican. For those of you who are wondering, is that a real hat? Everybody's asked me that my whole life. To be black and brown at the same time is hard. To be black, I mean, like, y'all don't even. And then also right now I teach in a space. As you walk one side to the railroad track is black, the other side is brown, so it makes me think of my brothers. And ever since Nipsey, I ain't been right, because I had a brother that I don't like to talk about at the age of 15 who became an ancestor. So there are some people in the community writing me on Easter Sunday like, hey, why you didn't respond to my email? I want you at my school, I want you to do this. I'm like, I'm saying this for whoever. Self-care is a revolutionary act. Self-care is a revolutionary act. I think I'm going to do one more.
Yeah!
One more.
Read the whole thing.
Y'all are looking at me like, I did not expect this to happen. How are y'all feeling? Because y'all looking at me like, what?
Woo! Yeah!
You listening?
Active listeners.
I'm working on a collection called Back Porch Sage. It has to do with my mental health. It is my thoughts before the poems become the poems. I'm also working on a project called Blue in the Face, where I listen to old blues music and write in an old language. And in an act of defiance, I sent one of those poems to the Rice Review. I sent one of those blues poems, like, they ain't gonna pick this shit.
Sure.
And they picked. Oh, I am? Y'all should have told me that. I don't like the string. See, that's what I like. Tell me if I'm recording. Now I gotta act like I'm doing something right. Picadillo is Mexican magic. I was in the second grade when I learned how to make picadillo. My daddy taught me. I smile now remembering that day. Daddy was all mine. I was all daddy's girl. They called my daddy calote. It means corn stalk, tall. He was full of magic from Mexico. He was a field of dreams. Living somewhere in between Mexico and America, he was the coolest cat around. Everybody loved and feared calote. When my daddy walked, he commanded respect. He didn't laugh much. He didn't talk much. He didn't have to. His ways were just that. his ways. He had a way of making my mother swoon. Perhaps it was his brown eyes or his smile. Maybe it was his hair. It hung down to the middle of his back. I just wanted to touch it all of the time. He wore Dickies overalls and smelled like patchouli. Daddy was usually working as a roofer. He'd come home smelling like chicle in the sun. In the past, and skip past this. My eyes got wide. I was learning his magic from Mexico. I watched completely enthralled as he bent down. He put the wet end of the notebook paper in front of the dirt pile, smoothed out the edge of his finger. He quickly swept up the dirt onto the paper. Just like that, it disappeared. He said, "This is a Mexican dustpan." I watched my daddy sweep up a lot onto a Mexican dustpan. Fights with mama, light bills, money orders for the rent, his emotion, memories of his childhood. I'm thinking about my mother. My mother, I never read the word death or die when I said that, but she's the one that tells me I have a crown. And I want to honor her. I want to leave this stage honoring her with this poem. It was my mother that taught both of my fathers how to speak English when they came to this country. It was my mother that was homeless sometimes at the age of 13 because of what man had done. It was my mother who makes me, it is, present tense, it is my mother who has given me this crown. This poem is called "3600 Block of Willing." In the 3600 block of Willing Avenue, I watched Ma travel from stove to sink to refri to mess up preparing meals that any Mexican would. Juro por Dios, never came from a black woman. Chuletas de puerco, arroz y pollo, fideo con limón, pozole, frijoles, lentejas, cualquier cosa, ma could hazlo. Religiously, she would rinse the smell of garlic and comino from her hands, baptized in the sink's cool water. Every 4 or 5 minutes, she would dry them in the brick red apron that was dusted and floured from the pork chops. And I sat on my brown bar stool. Its cracked vinyl crown pinched my thighs in the summertime when I sat too long cutting and chopping cebolla, jalapeno, tomate, aguacate. El pico del gallo was loud and so was Frankie Ruiz. When he sang, so did we. Pero lo, feet and fingers danced to the beat of the conga. Timbales and horns flooded the air, flirting with the sound of garlic frying. Outside, Mario screamed at pedals to run, "Correle!" from his sock, because he was the wind. And if he caught you, ya se acabó la cosa. Gordo Pana played in el piso jugando a game of marbles contra our green army men. Daddy had shown the boys his game early one morning before beds made and faces washed. A game que jugaron en el DF before he, Chero, Chino, y Chavo got here. Daddy was now in the driveway tomando Coors like a mi tío Chavo, discussing the affairs of the roofing business. Back in the kitchen, Frankie was whispering when Ma threw the tortillas on the stove 4 and 5 at a time. They blackened and bubbled, the smell of burning cornfields. I set the table with blue and green plastic cups and forks and plates that didn't match. Ya estuvo. Ya llegó la hora. It was time to eat. And I danced inside, proud that this black woman, mi madre, showed me my heritage while dancing and making white-eyed salsa in the 3600 block of Willing Avenue. Thank you right about now.